Back again.
Back again. How we doing today?
Back again. Yeah. Doing pretty good, man. It's been a high octane day, a lot of caffeine, trying to get stuff done. So yeah, today's been a great day. Hopefully it's a great day for whoever's listening to this on whatever day they're listening to it. So yeah, how about you?
Good, man. Yeah. High caffeine day as well. For me, I'm on the second double shot right here. I actually had a no caffeine day the other day, which was significant enough to call it out now, which may be a problem because of how much coffee I drink. So yeah, I had a decent day, but yeah, just happy to be recording another ep of Brick Talk. Like we mentioned last episode, it's all about consistency, and we keep showing up week after week. And we do appreciate those who tune in, and surprisingly enough, decently quick after we release them at 10 a.m. every Wednesday, and people roll in on their lunch break, tuning in. Uh, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So man, I feel like even though we're very consistent with these, I feel like a lot has happened since the last time we talked. Um, I've had a bunch of stuff going on. There was a whole I'm here in Houston, a whole tornado thing. They're using their weather machine to like tear up the city. I've never seen anything like it. Two tornadoes in the middle of sprawling downtown with skyscrapers. I always imagine that to be something that happens to like Kansas or like Omaha or something like that. So that was real interesting. So I caught up watching some movies, um, even though on my phone, even though I didn't have power for a little bit or internet, I just sat back, caught up on some Criterion collection, and man, like I have this new love for film. I want to get back to watching more movies, and I rewatched Her, and I mean it's a weird movie. Um, what about you? What's some good movies that you caught up on as of late?
Yeah, so kind of similar to her, with Scarlett Johansson. I recently rewatched Lost in Translation, great movie with her and Bill Murray, and it just we couldn't go without mentioning her just because as of late she's in every news article dealing with OpenAI and ChatGPT. So for those that don't know, OpenAI did a live stream demonstrating their new voice uh, product release, and it sounded eerily similar to Scarlett Johansson. And she has since lawyered up. She's taken action, and OpenAI has dropped the Sky voice at the moment. So yeah, it's interesting. I think you know to think when she was filming or doing the voice for her the movie, she had to think of like what would this be like if it was real life, and here we are, and um, they're going to court for it or whatever's about to happen. So I just think it's interesting. I'm not sure how much of a basis she has, to be honest. I do agree with the whole motion that like it's scary, it's concerning, like she wants to own her right in like her voice, whether that be artists, like owning your digital art, your digital identity, just like owning your own talents. Like I get that, but also like OpenAI is denying that they based it off her, even though Sam Altman himself tweeted her. I think that's so just like giving. He's gone on record saying Her is like his favorite movie. Like I think it's kind of obvious like what they were doing, but they've legally denied it and said that they've actually, they went through hundreds of voice actors to get to this. Honestly, if they can go to the lengths of proving that it's not actually Johansson's voice, she might be able to like sue. But I'm not sure. Like I think OpenAI's argument is gonna be like, okay, maybe you know she may be the inspiration, but it wasn't like supposed to be her. Even though they contacted Scarlett Johansson prior to the release of this, asking her to be the voice. So that's kind of, I feel like that's like admitting right there, but they're going on record saying that it wasn't based off her voice and that it was some other voice actor. So uh, yeah, what do you think about? I mean, their demonstration overall, but like, what do you think about specifically her voice?
Um, I think I don't know this lady. Like I'm aware of who she is, but like I ain't really like I don't know. I don't really I'm I'm not a 69 god, right? Like I'm not a freaky boy. So I mean, her voice I'm not like I don't know how much you can do with uh this new chat GBT that came out that I've tried is pretty dope. Um, but yeah, I'm not thinking about her voice and that nature. I guess it would be weird, especially if it's um, going to be on everyone's phone. I see how that could be an issue, but I personally think they should have reached out to Cree Summer, the voice of Susie Carmichael from the Rugrats. That's who they should should use. That's a real voice actor. That's someone who would really appreciate that. Cree Summers. We'll throw a pick up or something. But yeah, she's a legend in the game. That's someone I think will be great to be the voice of something, since she already does voice acting. But unfortunately, Sam Altman is very shady to say the least, right? So, due to his not having much transparency, which I don't know if he needs to have much transparency, but because of that, everything is going to be scrutinized, uh, especially with this technology, because that is weird to just imagine your phone on every device, and as it advances, and that's ethics comes into play at some point. The freaks are going to get a hold of this, and then you know the voice was, I think, last episode we rewind. I was telling you, I was laying in bed and I was trying it, and it was like, whoa, this is like kind of uncomfortable. Like she's talking to me a certain way. So if I felt that and I had no clue, wasn't thinking about, I thought she died. She killed herself in the Marvel movie. She jumped over the thing. That's her, right? That's the same lady, right? Like she was supposed to be dead. I didn't know these. I thought actors like died when they committed. They died in shows, but yeah, like I didn't even think of her. So to think that's her voice, or it sounds like her voice, that's that's super weird. But I think she should have probably did it. That's a cool flex for the rest of eternity. You're the voice of this artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I mean, I'm, in those feelings, I'm sure, she was talking to consultants, lawyers, her team, family when going to the decision, and then, she ended up denying the offer, and then apparently they offered her again right before they released it, and her team didn't have enough time to get back to them. So, uh, I do agree to some extent that it would be like a hell of a resume piece. However, I can see like the scary part of it, like you said, like just the fear of having some of the people in this world, like the deep fake inevitability, or like it's just that would happen with ignorance and everything. And I just think that, not to take OpenAI's side, but I do think that her voice is distinct. I don't think it's like distinct enough. Like we all know there's, a woman in a bar in Tucson right now that sounds similar, like let's
Right.
be real. And also, like, I mean, I think we saw it in her, right? We saw that development with Phoenix, throughout the movie, and what her voice portrays, the tone and display and delivery of her voice. There's that there's that influence, that pursuit, that sexiness. That's what they want the AI to be doing. They want it to feel so real to where you confess and you give in, and you just fall in love with this technology. And here she is, lawyering up for an actual real life case against OpenAI to battle something that she once got paid a check for to portray in a film. So, if that ain't, just a full circle, yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Um, but so this is just a question to the audience or whoever. What other voices? I thought you could pick a voice because I pick a voice on my uh, Chat GBT. So I wonder if it's only did they only go to her? Did they go to other uh, actresses? Did they go to Lucy Liu? Did they go to Lupita? Like, did they go to all a bunch of variations to get different type of voices, or they just went to her? Because if they just went to her, and like then they just found the chicken Tucson, the chicken Milwaukee, like that's some 69 God stuff. That's some freaky stuff, right? Like to just go to her, a famous person, and no one else. Like, let me ask you this: do you prefer the men voices or the women voices?
Hmm. It's a good question because I haven't switched it on ChatGPT, but on you can do it on Siri, and I don't use Siri, but like in the first years of owning an iPhone or when Siri released or whatever, I occasionally used it to ask news, a joke, when they release stuff like that. So I've messed around with the original woman Siri voice and then like a man's voice, a British man's voice. It went through the options. I think I would. I guess I don't know. It's interesting. I feel like I would be more comforting with to a woman's voice, but a man's voice when driving, giving directions, I may trust them more. I don't know. Not sure.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting because depending on how it advances, this technology advances, you could either, be at home in the kitchen talking to this AI and like getting a recipe. This is the misogyny coming out. Like you're at home, it's peaceful, you're talking to Scarlett Johansson, but then you're in a battle, right? You're in traffic, and all of a sudden you want to talk to whoever Tony Stark's um, British voice guy was. I forgot the character's name, but yeah, or you're on some 007 stuff, and you want a man's voice. It's very weird where these voices come into play, but you bringing up Siri. Chat GBT is going to be integrated into Siri now, which is very interesting because I mean, ChatGPT and Apple kind of look the same. They have the same vibe to them, so I think that's a perfect marriage. But what do you think about that? It now being integrated into their product? Because for me, I don't use Siri at all. Like I mistakenly hit it, and it's like kind of annoying. But what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's a good play for Apple. We know that Siri isn't the most functional or as developed AI technology as something like OpenAI, and we've also mentioned that Apple has a history as a business just consuming these smaller companies, even though obviously ChatGPT, OpenAI, that they're huge, but just leveraging their technologies to feed the monopoly, right? So I think this is a good play. I do think with Tim Cook's he's expressed his personal use of the product, so I think that kind of just I guess wins them some brownie points or something. I don't know, and then just it is to say that like Siri is in-house development. So what does that look like for them to bring in a third party, right? I guess is that just confession of that they just don't got the tech like that, right? They need help. OpenAI is just powering through right now, so the partnership makes sense. Like you're saying, it is a interesting conversation because that would allow every person and their mama with an iPhone just to have it right there. And accessibility, what does that look like? What does that those opportunities look like for the general public?
But it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to be used. How are they going to retell the story of Siri? Like, I'm very interested to see how that storytelling is going to play out and how it's really going to improve. Because there's so many products across their ecosystem. Um, I would love to see those case studies on just how it works. Like how would that work on like your in your car, like Apple, like the little Apple dashboard, or like how would you use that with Apple Watch, or I mean, how would you use it with the VR headset? I can't wait to see how they tell that story, how they convince people to re-engage with Siri, because I mean, I'm on a Mac all day, and don't even I don't even use it, right? But if I say I'm not gonna say it. If I say Google right now or Hello Google, I have all these Google devices that are gonna go off. But we've been saying Siri the whole time, and wait, is that why we're having technical difficulties? I keep saying that. Is that could that be it? But um, yeah, like I don't even think about that feature. So it's gonna be interesting. I can't wait. Like what you're saying, I can't wait to like see how do old people use this, right? Like, are they are they the most vulnerable to the her story? I can see my mom or one of my uncles being like just in the house having a conversation with Scarlett Johansson. Um, she's really long winded though, really long winded. But I don't know, man. It's we're getting closer. We're getting closer to Skynet, Terminator 2.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I agree. I think Siri is just dismissible at the moment. I think people don't even use it. People forget they have it. I have mine turned off so I can just say, Siri, 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 just nothing happens. I think if they leverage the cutting edge technology of OpenAI, they have the opportunity to turn Siri into from nothing to something like for those that know the game Halo, like Cortana. So like Cortana is more than just a voice. She's like lives in Master Chief's head. She's like a companion, right? Like a co-pilot. So much more than just a AI voice. It's a partner. It's a lifelong companion. So you're talking about implemented in different tech. I'm thinking I know they not too long ago they scratched their car idea, but I mean that I can see that much coming back into play. Apple being Apple, and just imagine what a Cortana or a highly developed Siri would do in an Apple vehicle. I mean, obviously direction. It would take ownership of the vehicle. And just different technology, phone, computer, laptop. It would just it would turn to from a voice that you ask like what's the weather to like today to like a voice that you give instructions to and consult with issues about your life and all that. So yeah, let's see if that goes through and what they do with that tech.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. But of course, it's going to depend on how much information you give it. The better, the more intelligent it would be, and uh, the question is, does the average user really use their iPhone to its fullest capabilities or their MacBook? Like I know for both of us, we cycle through. We go from notes to reminders to Notion to to do lists to Asana for things. So, we use Google Drive. Then for 3 months we use iCloud. So uh, with that integration, uh, how much information do you want to give to Siri or that ecosystem to really make it intelligent and be able to enhance productivity or just improve your life in general? Like I keep getting notifications about the Journal app that's in the phone that I haven't used. Every time I go somewhere, then I come back home. It's like, oh, do you want to journal about this or that? So I can see stuff like that with this new integration, just really uh, making it more engaged, but also giving away a lot of data, a lot of information, and of course, privacy is going to be a major thing. Um, I saw another AI voice that's on the market right now. I was skimming through LinkedIn and I saw that there's a tool called Ava that's free that you can use to like get better at interviews. Guys like us, we're not our company loves us where we work. So we won't be doing too many interviews, right? Not for now, but be able to uh, you know practice interviews. A good friend of mine, I sent it to them, and uh, they use it. It's really cool that. Uh, you can use it to better yourself in interview process. It looks like a pretty dope tool, and it was free. Of course, you're giving it all this information, but let me ask you: would you use a tool like this where you're answering questions, you're practicing interviews, and ultimately giving it information, but you're also getting feedback? Would you use something like that?
I think I would. Honestly, we all know, the job market's crazy and very daunting. And again, we are, thankful for our roles we have, and we're not in that position. However, if I was in that position, I would need as much help as I can get, right? I would consult people in the industry. I would look up helpful articles. I'd read every you know, top 20 interview questions you should prep for, right? I would go through all of those, but I'd still be in my head about it. Now, what I think this tool would allow the user to do is to grow that confidence level, right? You need the confidence to get the role and to walk in there and go interview after interview, improve your worth to the company and why they should hire you. I think that having a tool like Ava will allow you to do is, you get the personalized coaching. You can tell it what job you're applying for and others similar to it. So I think it could benefit you to talk to an AI tool that doesn't know you too well and knows what the job you're looking for and stuff about your career. But just I compare this to interviewing with your partner, your spouse, your close friend that may know a lot about you. It may be hard not to laugh during that. So I think a tool built for this, to achieve just further development of that coaching and getting you prepped for the interview like you should. I mean, I think that's a great use case for why, the betterness of AI, the potential of the good side.
For sure. Yeah, I think it's a very dope use case for AI. Everyone's trying to come up with, they're trying to get this market share, but it's cool to see a tool that actually helps people in a positive way. But I will tell you this, going back to last week here in Houston, where uh, I didn't have power for a couple of days, didn't have internet for a few more days than that. It was hard, man. It was hard hot spotting and going to coffee shops. Um, but what I realized was I'm not a big video game guy. I used to be. And the whole time I was telling someone we work with, I was like, man, I gotta buy a goddamn Xbox. I gotta get a PlayStation. I'm just sitting here. I need to play story mode, something going back to Katana and Master Chief. Like, man, that was classic game, man. Going through that. Um, but I saw there was some news when I started looking up pricing because I was like, damn, this Xbox is 500, 600 damn dollars. I was like, this is crazy. So I was shopping, trying to find some cheaper, trying to see what's going on, and I see, there was a lot of game studios closing. They were really consolidating. Let me ask you: Are you playing any games right now? Or are you more of a PC guy? How do you feel about with all this AI kind of tying it into the video game world? Do you think there will one day be a merger of that? And um, do you see that with all these studio closures? Do you see that being something that can help that game industry?
Yeah, so I've always been an Xbox guy. That kind of got halted at some point. I never got like the current gen Xbox. Instead, I got a PC, but I use the Xbox app because I still do the Game Pass. So like I get games every month or whatever. I do play every now and then, just kind of focus on something else in work. Rocket League, Halo, Minecraft, or some of my favorites at the moment, and for a long time now. My go tos. I think what we're seeing with Xbox. I'm not the current gen. I don't own one, but I think it's fair to say that like PlayStation kind of took the lead when the PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox released. I think not to say that Xbox is irrelevant, but I think with this shift, like they laid off a lot of their Xbox division. I think it's a tell that PCs, Microsoft, it's just consuming that sector of their company. I think that the Xbox will just become an application on a PC machine rather than an Xbox console. There's also a side that will argue entirely against that, and I kind of understand that to some extent, because I've owned an Xbox console for so long, so many years of playing video games on an Xbox console. I still see the appeal in having a separate console to play the games on rather than a computer that plays the games on. I totally get it. I just think it's inevitable that Microsoft, being the company they are, that Xbox, that sector, that division will be consumed into just PC. I don't know. I saw a tweet the other day. It was like, I would much, it's like hot take, colon. I'd much prefer receiving a Google Meet link than a Zoom link. What are your thoughts on that?
You know what? That's very much giving iPhone, Android type
Yeah.
vibes. I hate a fucking Zoom. Cause Zoom, let me tell you about Zoom. Zoom will just they'll someone send you a Zoom link and it's just like your goddamn camera's on. It's like whoa. I didn't tell you to intro me in just my face. Like I could not have a shirt on. I could, you know what I'm saying? Like, and boom, just straight cameras. So no. You gotta. That's why I make sure my Zoom is set up. Don't turn on no camera. Don't turn on. I'll join by audio. You know. But nah, hell no. I hate a Zoom link. Zoom, nah. That Zoom is horrible. Yeah, I'd rather a Google Meet any day. Um, but Google is doing a lot of weird shit as of late. I still haven't recovered from them selling a Squarespace, even though I think that's working out perfect for Squarespace and what they're trying to do. That's still like kind of weird for that. But I've already migrated over to Cloudflare. But yeah, no, definitely Google Meet. And I saw that Google Meet is trying to enhance the audio. You know, even if you've been listening to this podcast since the beginning, there's we've had audio difficulties. I've there is microphone disparity. You have a lovely microphone, great audio. I struggled at times when we first started this, so they're working to enhance the audio, especially in video conferencing situations. I don't know how this works for like remote work, like we do. Like, how would that work? But the AI features to clean up the voices, make it more clear. I think that's really dope. What I would love to see them do is add some type of translation the same way OpenAI did. Man, we're really glazing OpenAI these past couple weeks, but yeah, add that translation option so you can talk across countries or just languages. I think that would be dope, for sure. Uh, just the flexibility. People can be anywhere. If you're in a coffee shop and you have to talk all low like this, you're hunched over because you don't want people all in your computer, so you can't really talk loud, right? This feature will really enhance the experience. So that's dope. I don't know how that's going to work with across hardware. Like we work with someone who's on a Lavino. Like, is that Lavino is going to work well? And I'm on a MacBook, and there's someone else on an HP. Will this work across hardware? That's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, Google Meets as a product itself, right? It has to make the experience of meeting another individual, wherever they may be, as, you know, just engaging and enthralling as possible. They need that meet to feel like it's actually like secluded and you're talking to that one individual, and whatever distractions you have other in your life, you shouldn't have to worry about. And I think these advancements with the audio, just making it like as if the person was in a personal conference room. I don't know how I feel about the idea of my laptop or Google Meets, automatically detecting other laptops in the room and using their speakers and stuff. I'm not sure how I feel about that part, but I can't appreciate, you know, I, okay, I do think remote work is the future. I will continue to say that. I know there's recently been a wave of people, saying get back in offices, all that shit. Nah, remote work is the future. It's what everybody needs in their life for a work life balance, and I greatly appreciate the opportunity to be in a remote role. So that being said, Google Meets needs to be enhanced as much as possible. That experience of meeting with someone else. We're always on the go, right? Like we're at our stations right now. I'm in Chicago, you're in Houston. You have your computer with your mic and plugged in, but who's to say that in 42 episodes from now we may be on the move and we just need to go straight, computer to computer, no extra accessories or equipment. So knowing that Google Meets offers the ability to produce that level of content is good to know, and could, bring more people to their platform. We're talking about Google Meets versus Zoom. I think Google Meets is taking a lead here.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Zoom sucks. Zoom really sucks. It's like, what's that other one back in the day? They used to be
Skype.
popular. Skype. Yeah, it's like Skype at this point.
You got to have the app downloaded. It always needs an update. Like, come on.
It always needs to update. And then, like I have multiple different emails. I have like 6 different emails for different organizations I'm a part of. So just they're sending that email, a Zoom link on different emails. So it's like throwing off Zoom because you have to have an account. And so it's just no, no. I'm cool off of Zoom. Please, no Zoom links. It's I hate Zoom so much. I love a good Zoom bomber video on YouTube. Though those are pretty great. Just someone Zoom bombing the Piggly Wiggly group in Mississippi who's meeting about the Sadie Hawkins dance or something. That's great. It's just it brings something to my soul to see other people not enjoy Zoom as much as I don't. But yeah, down with Zoom. Hashtag down with the Zoom. Like, get it out of here. They really dropped the ball uh, during and after the pandemic, man. You would think that was their time to shine.
Yeah, and you mentioned Skype. I remember, early 2020, spring 2020, whenever like everybody was moving remote and work, school, everybody was using, and Zoom became the standard, the industry standard. Skype, I think Skype was right there, and the ball was in their court, and they dropped it. I think Zoom is definitely here to stay. I mean, we both still join Zoom meetings reluctantly, but um, yeah, it's we'll see what this technology, with this audio advancements, what they look like.
Man, we haven't talked about portals and the short-lived portals that was on the scene. That was a dope concept. Yeah, that was cool. It was a cool thing. What do you think about portals? Because you're into it, right?
Yeah, I do think it's a very interesting and just amazing case of human engineering, or the way of the world, whatever you want to call it, just for the ability for one side of the world to be immediately connected to the other side through a portal, right, like a digital video live feed. I think in concept, in theory, it sounds like it would be appreciated and used for just a glance, maybe when you're out and about, you're in the town square in the city, whatever. They got one of them posted up, like, oh, that's so cool. You see a bunch of people and then go about your day. But we quickly saw via social media the ignorance that took over. People would stay, hover around, show, sensitive sensitive topics, sensitive photos, um, taking their clothes off, shit like that. So, it's tough because, I think that in concept, it's so cool. I mean, just being able to see the other side of the world just through a bunch of pixels right there in your day in life, right in the middle of the street, whatever. But like I said, I think that people are just gonna keep misbehaving.
Yeah, it was a cool concept while it lasted. I'm pretty sure they'll bring it back at some point. Um, yeah, we just live in a sick, sad world nowadays. So people going, girls going wild uh, on on the thing. Um, and they put in two of the oddest places. I would love to see it in like like in New Zealand, Mexico City, basically non-American places. I think that would be pretty much dope to see. Um, I don't. Well, was I wonder if you could you hear audio? Was audio a part of this, or it was just the portal itself?
I believe it was just a video feed. So, but there were still people like putting their phone up close to close to the lens, or writing shit on a sign. There's still that, being able to communicate like that. But I think it was just video.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's yeah, it was definitely dope. I would love to see how they can enhance it, retell that story, implement it in different ways. Um, we live in our world right now is on very a lot of tension in the world. So I think it would be cool to set up. I don't know how many countries would actually participate in something like that, but I think it would be uh, something cool to bring back.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's dependent on the location, because we may see it perform just just in a different way somewhere else. There might not be people in the area that feel the need to do stupid shit like that. It makes me think of like being in like middle school or whatever, and going in house there, and they'd have like a large screen, and it'd be in like the lower third text. It'd be like uh, live feed off the beach in fucking San Diego or whatever. And I thought that was so cool. Like, oh, it's a live feed, like this happened in real life. And it just makes me think or question. You're talking about you would want it to be in other countries outside the U.S. Is there any, like, if you were to have like a personal one, and there may be ways to create this now. I know I've had a monitor in my setup before where I would only have like a live feed of the NASA cams, so like up top, like in orbit, like on the ISS. So if you were to have like a personal portal, right, just you in somewhere in the world, right, you could be fucking beachside somewhere on the horizon, or just a cityscape. Where would you want yours posted up at? Maybe you rotate through a handful in a calendar year. Where would you want your first one to be?
Oh man, that's a good question. Somewhere I've been trying to get to is Cape Town, South Africa. Definitely that. And I kind of do this with my Apple MacBook Pro, like wallpaper. I'm like going through different locations, even back there on my Apple TV. I have it's kind of going through all these different scenic views. So definitely Cape Town, South Africa, Sedona, Arizona. Um, Man, I love Venice. Before we jumped on, I was looking at places in Venice Beach, California. Um, maybe I'm privileged, but it ain't too bad. There's some affordable places out there. Might have to make a move. That might be the thing. So I love Venice. I haven't been in a couple of years, but I need to get back out there. So yeah, yeah. I don't know if that. Wait, I don't know if Venice is a good one. Nah, not Venice. It's kind of got a lot of creeps, but Bali, you know, that might be a good one. Um, yeah, yeah. It would be cool, but I just outside uh, outside of just the portal itself is cool, but it kind of sucks because I want, like how you're saying, I want it to be personal. So Total Recall, there was a feature where like the windows, like your windows, the wall would just turn into like wherever you wake up to, Hawaii, or you wake up to uh, Rio de Janeiro. Like that would be cool as a portal. You have this personal look into this place in your house instead of looking into, for instance, if you're in New York and you're looking at the trains, you're looking at, whatever's going on outside. If you can just flip that and it's Sao Paulo or Argentina, that would be dope as a portal, instead of just seeing whatever you're seeing outside, or just having the uh, just the community portal that is ultimately uh, gonna get crazy. Because what happens when like New Orleans gets a portal and January happens, or what I'm saying, or February comes around, January comes around. That's gonna be it's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be a crazy portal to see. Or let's say the Lakers win something, or like they win and people start flipping over cars, and they're going down the street and they see the portal and they're like, wait, our portal's connected to the people we just beat in the championship. Like, what happens then? So just a little bit that we experienced with the short time that they were doing that, uh, it can be a lot worse, basically. So, uh, in-home personal portals, I would love to see that. That would be dope.